Alright, hey, what's up guys? So we're going to go over these balance changes. This is not an initial reaction. I've already read through all these. I've already given a lot of this a lot of thought, so I'm going to share some of that with you guys here. Hopefully this video doesn't take too long, but let's go ahead and get started. So, Aravi is finally getting buffed. I was actually going to do some Aravi content, but I kind of held off because I figured she'd be getting a buff soon. And I didn't want to deter anybody from buffing her. So, I didn't make any content with her, but I use my Aravi a lot. So I will go ahead and show you my Aravi. Might as well, right? Pull this up real quick. I might have to hide the face cam for a sec, but where is she? I think Ravi is one of the best anti-cleave units in the game right now. There's releasing some better ones, but I think Aravi is very strong. So you can see some of the stats. Let me go ahead and hide this real quick. Okay, but yeah, you can see my build right here. I like her very fast. I like really high HP so she can survive hits. I actually use her as an anti-strays tech. And she has high health, right? She actually has more health than my Crow does, right? So she's at 25.6. My Crow is at 25.2. Even with him giving her an imprint and her giving him an imprint, he still has more health. Or she still has more health because his imprint's bigger, right? So strays will in turn get the higher defense penetration on her. She has the Draco plate damage reduction here and sufficient damage, and she gets the Arius share with Crow, and nothing dies. If attack buff is there, usually something dies. So typically, like against a cleave, I'll ban the attack buff, and then she won't die against strays. Another way people are starting to use her is they build her a lot faster, and they actually run her on Azure Comet. So if you build her like 240 speed, I don't know where my Azure Comet is right now. It might just be sitting on something. So where is it? Azure Comet's the CR push that came out with Rim, this artifact right here. So it gives her free crit. She already gets a lot of free crit in her kit, so this is 45% free crit. Makes it really easy to build her. Either really tanky, really high damage, you know, higher speeds, and then when somebody dies, and this is anybody, right, it gives her 12% CR. It's 24% max, so if she's at like 240 speed, she's going to likely cut and take a turn, which is very good into like units like Pavel, right? My Aravi will not die to a Pavel. It's way too tanky. So building her that fast with Azure Comet, she will take a turn and fuck Cleave. But Cleave isn't really an issue right now. They're like Rim dismantles Cleave. I think Cleave is slowly but surely dying. It's not going to be around very much longer. So into the buffs here. So they added injuries on her S1, which I don't think makes too big of a difference. You don't really draft her in that kind of draft where injury is going to make a big difference, but maybe she's able to be drafted in a slower draft now, like more, you know, usable. I have drafted her in slower drafts to where like once Frenzy built up, like she was just popping off, but sometimes it's hard to get to that point with how much damage is in the meta. But yeah, she just basically gets this. Her soul burn damage will do even more, so we don't know what the scaling looks like now, but my Aravi hits pretty hard with soul burn with the damage stats that I have, you know. With the Draco plate, I'm at like 245 crit damage or something like that with, you know, 26,000 health, so she hits pretty hard, at least the build I'm using right now. I think the big thing here is this CR gain. A CR gain is actually pretty huge. I know people are going to wonder, like, should I build her on counter to take advantage of the injuries? And it's like, you could. I don't think so. I think you want her to turn cycle pretty fast, or you want to take advantage of getting even more stats if you're going to go slower, since you get free speed here, right? Which is what I might do. I might try to test a couple different builds. I'll show you what I'm thinking about doing. But yeah. And then they added this 30% health here. This is actually it's like a pseudo nerf to how I play her, because I draft her with along Sage Bale and Crow. So that just means my Sage Bale and Crowl are going to revive with 20% more health and do less damage on their free turn. Which is okay, but I mean, them reviving anything else is going to be a little bit better. I mean, if she revives something like an Acoli, 10% and 30% really makes no difference, right? So it's really about reviving a tanky unit. Even reviving like Arbiter Vildred with 10% to 30% health, you know, there's not much of a difference. Like any squishy unit, 20% health is nothing. It's like maybe, you know, 1800 health. It's really negligible, right? But a tankier unit, see more advantages in this. I don't even think this was necessary to change, but because they already have skill null anyways, right? But I mean, it has its pluses and it has its downs, so it just is what it is. Oh, I could probably turn the cam back on, right? Turn on. Okay, so. And then they added this part too. Damage dealt by the skill increases every time somebody dies. Effect can only stack up to 3 times. So, in a longer fight where things are constantly reviving, it's going to be hard to take advantage of this, I think. Because it's kind of like a win more condition. But if you're losing, this is going to do more damage. So it could help, again, it'd be a little bit better in anti-cleave. There's a kind of a cool thing. So, I don't know. I think the biggest part of the change here is this CR gain. There's a lot of AoE in the meta right now. There's, you know, Landy Charlotte, Carrot S3s, G-Perk still kind of around Rim. SSB gets picked every now and then. Pavel. There's a lot of AoE in the game, like a fuck ton. Strays. It's pretty easy to draft her into AoE, but there is one big issue, and that is S-Tinny. LQC is another very dangerous unit for Aravi, so it's hard to say if she's gonna be a lot better. I still think like she's just straight up better as an anti-cleave unit, but she was already fine in that role before. She didn't really need anything to be better. Now she's just a little bit better. The injuries, we have to see how much more damage this does, because I think that's kind of huge, right? Just more damage on the soul burn. It's 20 souls, so it's probably gonna chunk. What I wanted to see in Aravi's buff is like an LQC mechanic, to where like she did more damage to light units, and you know, maybe pin here against light units or something like that. But I think this route is okay. It does make her a little bit better, but I don't think it makes her like insane, right? People are asking like, oh, should I build injury Aravi, you know, to double stack the injury? Thing is, guys, injury is a gimmick, and Frenzy's already in the game. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. Like, injury isn't going to help you win in a situation where you're not already winning, for the most part. It's like you're not really going to notice unless you completely build a draft around that, to where like you draft more injury SSB and her, and then Carmen, and then Ruel, or, you know, just spitting out an example here, and you're really like stacking that injury fast. I think like her doing a little bit, like in a longer fight, it will kind of make a difference. It will help close the gap to land an S3 on something, like if you draft her in a slower draft. So I guess that is a thing. So like you hit the squishy target over and over again, right? So you stack up the injury, you get the free CR here. You could even pair with units like ARAS, and then that's more injury stacking up just off her S1s. I don't think counter is going to be reliable enough. They're not going to want to hit her, right? Because she's going to gain CR. So I think counter's just not good. You're going to want to get the extra stats at a speed set. I don't like lifesteal might be okay, but she can hold Sigurd, so there's really no point. Yeah, this is okay, I guess. I think she's a little bit better. It's going to take some testing. I will do some testing. I draft the unit a lot, like I said. I really like Aravi's kit, and I will use her. I guess instead of this being all the balance pass notes, this is just me talking about Aravi first, so this will be its own video. But yeah, let's just go back into talking about Aravi again here. So what I was talking about earlier is like I was thinking about just really weighing down the stats and basically doing this. Main stat health. These boots. I was thinking about doing a stat line like this, right? Because I'm going to end up losing Draco Plate with this build. Maybe. Maybe not. I think Draco Plate's a really strong artifact for her. But, you know, obviously she scales with health. You want a lot of health. You want to make her really hard to kill. Right? So, I like this stat line. If I could get this and have her at 180 speed, this would be absolutely insane. But that's really hard to do for me because, like, most of this gear is already cracked. It would be really hard to do that, especially keeping the pin set as well. I think pin set is really good on her. If you have a decent pin set, like this is the one I'm using, like this gear is specific. When I saw this neck, it was specifically for Aravi. I actually think I got it out of an equipment pack, ironically, but both of these, I was like, oh, this is Aravi gear, 100%. You know, does anyone use pin Ravi? And not many people do, but yeah, you can do this. You could do the speed, like this kind of build on counter set, yeah, but you're just lacking a bunch of stats in that regard. Like all this gear, for the most part, she's like, I think in this set over here in this stat line, she is I think she's like an average gear score of like 73. Like, so this gear is cracked, right? So this is a very high stat Aravi. So this is what I'm thinking. Another option, this could be MLM, okay, but I was thinking maybe Strax. Because there are debuffs coming into the meta. I did mention in my last video, I think the meta's gonna shift a little bit more towards debuffs. I'm not saying go full ER build. If you notice, like Aravi has a self-imprint of F-res here, right? So if you happen to have a triple S one, that's, you know, 27%. And the fact that she can hold Strax is another 60. That's 87%. Or yeah, 87% effective resistance, you know, with literally 0 stats on her gear. Right? No ER on the gear. Literally 0. 67 just from an artifact and a self-imprint. And then there's another thing you can add on top of that. Shamadra's adds another 20%. And then you have Maid's passive here, which is another 20%. So that's 40 plus your initial. So I said 67, right? No, 87. 87. So 87 plus another 40. Right? So that's, what, 127 ER. And you got other factors you can factor in as well, right? This too. If you're drafting Maid, then you get another 14% here. If you draft Carmen, you get another 12 here. You get what I'm saying? You can effectively reach over 150 ER on Aravi with having literally 0 ER on her gear. If you could get like literally just a little spillover on her gear and put her at 200 and still maintain these really high damage stats, I think she's going to be very scary into the coming meta. This is my prediction. I don't know how accurate it's going to be, but it's something I'm definitely going to try. I don't even have a maxed out Strax yet. I think mine's on my Dark Corvus. Yeah, it's like plus 18. But it's a lot of free stats, right? So it's really just taking advantage of free stats. And some more MLM, I guess you can consider, is this unit. As we all know, she has this passive here, where she gains, you know, ER. And then she also self-prints ER as well. So you could actually draft her with Aravi, and it probably isn't bad. Because if you can make her immune to debuffs or really high damage, I think that's a better way of going than Crimson Seed. I don't like Crimson Seed. It's fucking RNG. I hate RNG. I don't like, what's the other thing? Anchor. Although I do have them in here. They are options. Where is, yeah, Crimson Seed. I forget what, this is max, but this is once per turn, right? If there's a bunch of debuffs going on, this is going to be, like, it's not going to do enough, right? And then Timeless Anchor is, what, like 50% chance maxed out on every hit. Thing is, you have to be attacked. She gains CR when attacked. They're not going to want to attack her. I just don't, I think it's just too much RNG, right? So I think just going innate ER might be the way to go. And when the reasoning is like a lot of units in the meta, like I can just show you mine right now, right? So like Crow, for example, probably have to hide the cam for this, but so my Crow's effectiveness, right, 0%. Like he's not landing a damn taunt on her at all if she has 100 ER, right? It's not gonna happen. You basically get that from Strax and imprints. You don't even need any aside from that, right? I run a different Carmen build, than most people. Like, I like effectiveness. I like being able to taunt units like Corral. So that wouldn't work against my Armin, for example, but like even like my Sage Bale, right? I only have 45. I think 150 is a good staple to hit. And then you're going to resist a lot of these units that want to debuff you. There's just other random shit, right? Attack down on Violet's S1. Shit like that. What else? S10's S3, right? Stuns are very oppressive. Champion Zerado's probably going to be coming around. Like, people don't build these units with effectiveness, guys. She gets 30 here for free. Like, these units aren't built with effectiveness. The only units you build with effectiveness are one I don't really have, but, you know, like this guy coming up soon. Like, he's going to want effectiveness. You're not building ER on Aravi to not get debuffed by something like this. Or F10, right? Or Cerise. Actually, Cerise, like, you might still be able to resist stuff from her regardless. She does have a stun. She can soul burn, stun you, but like my Cerise is kind of dog, right? I only have 61 ER because you're trying to get this stat up. Not like it's very hard unless you have good gear to get what you need here, right? You know, Ice Key say 0 effectiveness. You know, you don't want to get reset to stop you from reviving. There's, you know, just a lot of stuff like that. Like, and then, you know, Rim, you know, no ER until she has her demon mode, but RBS3, like there's a lot of debuffs that can stop you from reviving with Aravi, right? Like hit down, etc. I think if you can hit that staple with ER while maintaining these big stats over here, so just replacing the artifact, using the imprints to your advantage, using Christie maybe, I think she's going to be very strong. So, yeah. Damn, this turned into a 15-minute video. Me talking about Aravi. Well, 17 minutes. My thing over there was lagging. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. That's my thoughts on Aravi, guys. I guess this is just its own video, but I do think she's really good. I think a Zerg comment's going to be good on her too, right? So it just depends on how you want to use Aravi. Do you want to use her in a slow draft? Do you want to use her as anti-cleave? I think she's good at both. You just have to be very aware of this unit. This unit is so oppressive right now. Like, she's probably, like, she is the best unit in the game. And they basically just buffed a whole bunch of units that aren't good into her. So she just got even better. So, it's what it is. But yeah. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. I guess I'm going to keep recording and talk about the next character now, which would be Luna. Alright, stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe for the algorithm, all that stuff. Catch you guys later. Peace. Yeah.